Oh dear. Oh. Sorry, I've been getting much sleep lately. I've been having really terrible dreams about rabbits. But that's not why you're here, is it? You don't want to listen to me talking about that. It's not want, is it? You want this? Hello, I'm a British person, and for once I'd like to talk a little bit about a good movie. Remember in 1999 when The Matrix came out? While nobody actually seemed to understand it, people did agree that the action was unique, the casting spot on, and the story was totally original. Mind you, this is the same year that Phantom Menace, Wild Wild West and Baby Geniuses came out. The movie proved that you don't need $300 million to create a decent set piece, and it surely must hold some sort of record for the most ever spoofed moments. Because of the moderate budget, they were forced to ensure that the script and performances were solid, so what action there is complements the story and solidifies the film as one of the best science fiction movies of recent years. We also have a villain who is truly memorable, played superbly robotic by Hugo Weaving. This is the role he was born to play, certainly more so than Megatron. It also introduced the world to the Wachowski brothers, a pair of complete dorks who just so happened to be allowed to make a movie. And I tell you what, it's a bloody good job nobody gave them $300 million to make a sequel, because I bet they would have gone and ruined everything which made the original so original.
Oh yeah, they did.
Oh, sorry.
I'm sorry, I'm just so tired, and all these terrible sequels don't make it any easier.
Matrix Reloaded. Goody. The movie starts as you'd expect an over-budgeted sequel to start, with a massive explosion. Returning character Trinity then beats up some guards with a helmet. She then bursts from the building and we see she is in fact being chased by an agent. They both fall and shoot each other, and somehow Trinity, this amazing marksman,
woman,
can't hit him for shit, whereas one well-placed shot from the agent is enough to finish her off. She then smashes rather hard into this car.
Of course it was all a dream.
You know, we're now 3 minutes into this movie and we've already had as much bullet time as there was in the original. On board the ship, we're then reintroduced to our heroes from the first, Neo, Trinity and Morpheus. This time around they're joined by a new crew member, Link, who will be joining us throughout the movie as the comic relief character. We also meet more of Zion's inhabitants, including Will Smith's wife. And if you're wondering who the hell they are, well, that's probably because you haven't seen any of Animatrix or played Enter the Matrix. Nice thinking, movie makers. Anyway, thankfully they're here to outline the movie's plot for us.
Is it a rule that everybody there has to look cool? I mean, where's the guy in the Hawaiian shirt and shorts?
They explain that soon the prophecy that they kept banging on about in the first one will be fulfilled. Meanwhile, they receive a rather unwelcomed visitor.
A gift. You see, he set me free.
Agent Smith? I thought he was destroyed in the first one.
Well, apparently he wasn't, and he has left a message he wants to pass on to Neo. This then leads to a fight scene which really doesn't go anywhere, and Neo just ends up flying away.
This is the point where I officially hate this movie. 10 minutes in. Oh well, only 110 to go.
So Neo flies around for a bit just to prove that this movie has a ridiculous budget, before we're treated to a shocking revelation.
Well, not exactly.
2 Smiths! What a twist!
After fanny-arsing around for a bit, the Nebuchadnezzar returns to Zion. Once there, we get a nice look at a poorly CGI'd Aliens ripoff.
Commander Locke demands requests your immediate counsel, sir.
Zion also appears to be full of bad actors.
As well as cliched characters, as here we meet a bumbling idiot who idolises Neo. We then see Locke and Morpheus having a heated discussion. Locke is pretty miffed that Morpheus disobeyed his order to return to Zion sooner.
There is only one way to save our city.
How?
Neo.
God damn it, Morpheus. Not everyone believes what you believe.
And in that one sentence, the entire mythology set up by the first Matrix is put in doubt. Neo has suddenly gone from being a messiah to a bloody cult leader. Locke also has a habit of saying funny words.
Of your duty.
Duty.
We then have one of the most completely unexpected scenes in recent cinema history. It starts normal enough.
We are still here!
And then 1 minute later...
Because a rave is the first thing I think of doing after being told I was 72 hours from death.
It turns out Neo and Trinity aren't into that sort of thing, though. Nope, they decide to go back to their place where Neo can nail her. Get it? Nail her?
You know, he nails her because he's a wooden actor and nails things.
We then see Smith taking over this bloke. And because he was such a well-loved villain in the first, I guess they felt they had to get as many Smiths in there as possible. Then, back in Zion, undercover Smith approaches Neo but is just saved by the annoying brat from earlier. This then gives them chance to sod off and plug themselves back into the Matrix. Once there, Neo meets this nice Asian chap called Seraph. Well, I say nice, they do have a bit of a fist fight before they decide to be friends.
Good.
After that completely pointless scene, Seraph takes Neo to see the Oracle. And what deep words of wisdom does she have to share?
I love candy.
Well, there we are then.
Of course, there is a little more to what she says, but the bit about the candy is the only bit I actually understood. And why, when she offers him candy, does he take it like a robot?
See, I told you he was wooden.
She may have talked a lot of bollocks throughout the scene, but she eventually starts to make a little sense and tells Neo that he has to go and see the Merovingian. Apparently he's some bloke who'll lead him to the Keymaker who will, I don't know, help him, I suppose. She then sods off and Agent Smith turns up.
Mr. Anderson. You got my package?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Surprised to see me?
No.
Then you're aware of it.
Of what?
Our connection.
Why are they talking? Come on, I didn't want to watch this for the inane exposition. Finally! Hang on, what's with the CGI bullet time? I guess there are no need for camera rigs this time around. At least not when you have 300 million offered to you on a plate. Jeez, how long does this scene go on for? A while yet, apparently. He's just picked up a pipe.
Yes, those rubber pipes really are effective weapons.
Pylon! After blowing them up in a comedy fashion, Neo then does what he should have done when the first one showed up and flies off. Meanwhile, back in Zion, Locke reveals that the machines are tunnelling towards them, and he requests from the council that he can do whatever he needs in order to defend the city.
Councils, prophecies. Since when did the Matrix turn into the bloody Star Wars franchise?
Morpheus, Trinity and Neo go to see the Merovingian, who is joined by Persephone, Persephone's boobs, and a pair of albino twins. They quiz the Merovingian about the whereabouts of the Keymaker, but like everyone in the Matrix, he gives them cryptic answers. He just bangs on about cause and effect and shows a woman eating a piece of cake which has been tainted.
I'm creating a new effect, just like poetry. First, a rush, heat, the heart flutters. And this is the nature of the universe. The truth is, we are completely out of control.
So, does she feel sick? Did she have an orgasm or have the shits? How disgustingly erotic.
The Merovingian then gets fed up and orders them away. Persephone then meets them and she leads them down to the toilet. And what she wants from them is a little weird.
I'll give you what you want, but you have to give me something.
What?
A kiss.
What? That never happens in real life. The only time I was propositioned in a toilet saw me coming out with a sore arse. Wait, no, it wasn't because of that. It was because I had a dodgy curry the night before. It wasn't bum sex.
I want you to kiss me, as if you were kissing her.
Why?
Yes, he really looks like he's upset about that, doesn't he? Anyway, moving on from that bollocks, and Persephone agrees to help them and leads them to...
My husband saved them because they're notoriously difficult to terminate. How many people keep silver bullets in their gun?
vampires, apparently.
There are vampires in the Matrix now.
But there's no point in remembering that fact, considering it is never mentioned again. She then leads them to the keymaker and they all gather in a nice location which I'm sure won't soon be the setting for another fight scene. Persephone then gloats to the Merovingian that she's gone behind his back because he was cheating on her before.
What cause? How about the lipstick you're still wearing?
Lipstick? Lipstick? What craziness are you talking about, woman? There is no lipstick.
She wasn't kissing your face, my love.
Where was she kissing then? Excuse me. His what? Why would anybody do that? That's disgusting.
Cue a fight scene. They seem to just wait in line for their turn to attack. Surely if they all just went in for him, they'd be able to kick the crap out of him. Meanwhile, the others escape with the keymaker, and after another overly choreographed fight scene, they manage to drive off. Time for an over-the-top car chase. And of course, they've been nice enough to throw in a bit of unneeded bullet time as well. Link directs them to the freeway, and we're treated to some completely ridiculous stunts. Like that. Why did the car just flip over? What actually caused that to happen? I suppose we don't really need a reason. It just looks nice.
Kind of like why Monica Bellucci's in it.
The ghost twins then float into the car and they have a ridiculous close-range fight, all while the keymaker bloke just sits there in a great position to just stab him in the eye. The agents then join in and use this car as a bouncy castle to start flipping cars about again.
I mean, honestly, why did that car just flip over?
Trinity and the keymaker manage to escape by leaping onto this lorry, and how the fragile old fart can just get up unhurt is not even worth my time. Morpheus then slices the twins' car, which of course causes it to flip over, and he's able to shoot the bottom, thereby blowing it up.
And despite them being super beings who can become a ghost and therefore invincible, once they become a ghost and therefore invincible, they're beaten by an explosion despite them being invincible.
If this wasn't a long enough scene already, then they throw a motorbike into the mix, and Trinity pisses about for a couple of minutes. Okay, it looks nice, but can you get on with the story now, please?
Oh yeah, I forgot. There is no story.
The old bloke is then flipped up again and lands quite hard on his back. Surely that must have done him some damage. Nope, he's fine. I think they should let him fight against the agents. He seems bloody hard to me. Of course, Morpheus is the one who has to fight the agent, but first decides to do his best Daniel-san impression. So it turns out Morpheus is a bit shit, and he manages to get beaten. But luckily Will Smith's wife is there to save the day. Morpheus then jumps back on and kicks the agent off. But oh dear, an even bigger threat is approaching, which not even this little boy's mum can stop. Suddenly they remember the hero of the movie, who luckily is here to play the part of the Deus Ex Machina. And he plucks them from the explosion. And no, the force which should have in fact broken every bone in his body, does in fact leave the old man completely fine. And after 90 minutes we finally see the machines approaching Zion.
Intense.
The Keymaker then explains to our heroes what they must do.
There is a building. Inside this building there is a level where no elevator can go. The system is based on the rules of the building. One system built on another. Once the door is unprotected, the connection will be severed.
Right, did you get all that? No? Of course you didn't. It didn't make bloody sense.
Essentially, they have to deactivate the power so Neo can go through a door. So why didn't they just say that?
The plan kicks off with Niobe beating up some guards so this chap can turn off the backup power. But of course there wouldn't be any drama if it all went to plan, so these Sentinels kill them in the real world, therefore killing them in the Matrix. But that's okay, because Morpheus gave us a heartwarming speech a few minutes earlier.
Isn't that worth fighting for? Isn't that worth dying for?
No.
They managed to destroy the power station, but unknown to the others, the backup power is still running. So despite promising Neo that she would stay put, she plugs herself into the Matrix, and we basically replay the opening scene of the movie. Meanwhile, the others have a run-in with Smith, and poor old Morpheus is nearly Smithized. But luckily Neo is there to save his ass again, just as Trinity deactivates the power and they fly in through the door. But oh no, the Keymaker has been shot. Perhaps he isn't a superhero after all. Neo then takes the poor bloke's key and just lets himself into this room. What wonders could possibly await?
Well, that's underwhelming.
Concurrently, while your first question may be the most pertinent, you may or may not realize it is also the most irrelevant.
Does everybody in this bloody movie need to talk in riddles?
Is the sum of a remainder of an unbalanced equation inherent to the programming of the Matrix. You are the eventuality of an anomaly which, despite my sincerest efforts, I have been unable to eliminate from what is otherwise a harmony of mathematical precision.
I've never seen a film before where people can talk so much without actually saying anything. I'd love to know how they wrote this piece of crap.
So the next word is anomaly. Really good word, lads. Let's write that in the script. So Neo says, "Why am I here?" And then the architect says, "Purified regurgitation, baby mattress anomaly." Genius.
To boil it down to its simplest form, the architect is explaining that Zion has to be destroyed because it's a shithole and they want to start again. The architect then offers Neo a choice, to either save Zion or save Trinity. And because he's a horny bugger, he chooses to save his girlfriend.
I would hope that we don't meet again.
Me too.
While they were yakking, Trinity and the agent were having a scrap, which of course is also what happened at the start of the movie. But luckily, because Neo is such a badass, he not only manages to catch her before she hits the ground, but also drag a bunch of cars behind him. But alas, she's been shot. Bye-bye, Trinity. Of course not. And seeing as he can break the rules of nature, why not just break a few more rules? And he just pulls the bullet from her body.
Because it's the bullet that would have killed her, not the wound or blood loss or anything.
He then pumps her heart to get it beating again. back in the real world and they can barely catch their breath before they're attacked by sentinels and the Nebuchadnezzar is destroyed. They try to outrun them, but of course they're only human in this world. Or are they? Unfortunately, this then puts Neo into a coma. Sucks to be you. We then learn that they weren't the only ones to be attacked. An EMP bomb was detonated, which saw the death of 3 ships' worth of crew.
Who is that? Oh, I know. That's the guy that Smith took over at the start. Yeah. You know, it would have had so much more impact if I knew who the bloody hell that character was.
All in all, the film tries far too hard to emulate the success of the original. The first was confusing, but at least it made sense. Here we have complicated dialogue, over-the-top CGI, and action scenes which I could describe more like dance scenes than fight scenes.
And of course it leaves us with an open ending. You know what that means, don't you? It's only the first in 2 simultaneously filmed sequels. I just don't think I can cope with another Matrix movie. Not if it's anything like Reloaded. I mean, I could barely stay awake now. I'm sorry, I'm just going to have to do this another time. I've just got to get some sleep. Am I? Jesus Christ, what am I wearing? I must be having a nightmare.
You think so?